The Emperor's Martyrs were created during the 23rd founding as a response to the Imperium's crumbling fronts, stationed upon the world of Asterix Prime. Descending from the Blood Angels, these warriors have a fervent taste for combat. Despite their distance from Holy Terror and their founding chapter, this chapter, surprisingly, has yet to be tainted by the touches of chaos, even with their location being so close to the warp. They are known throughout their neighbouring sectors as a small but elite chapter, with the majority of its core being crack marines with centuries of combat experience. In terms of size, Asterix Prime is 18 times more massive than the planet Jupiter, and 4 times as dense. The planet is relatively young, with volcanoes that are paired with frequent rainstorms that cool the massive lava flows, which is partly equivalent to the stage that Terra was at before life began to bloom. Asterix Prime's predominantly flat surface and abundance of materials made it an obvious choice for the planet to be turned into a forge world. Iron is as abundant as air on Asterix Prime, as well as the crucial materials needed to make diamantine, which is used by Space Marines in their bolters amongst other uses. The population of Asterix Prime is roughly 1 million people, not including the Emperor's Martyrs. They are mostly workers of the massive factories and the necessary facilities needed to maintain a forge world. The frequency of Orc pirates hounding the trade convoys necessitated the need for a small space station with a garrison of a handful of cruisers. The fortress monastery of the Emperor's Martyrs is located far from the foundries and factories of Asterix Prime. Situated on a mountain range, the fortress monastery of the Hall of Steel rises like a cathedral similar to the ones on Holy Terror. Its spires scrape the sky, while the facilities occupy the inside of the mountain range and the surrounding area. Beneath the Halls of Steel are several railways to the main forges on Asterix Prime, which directly supply ammunition and other materials to the chapter. Walls surround the facilities located in the lower lands below the mountain range, which are protected by batteries of cannons and a plethora of void shields. Inside the Halls of Steel is a well-stocked facility built to withstand siege for a long period of time. The halls themselves are lined with shrines to the Emperor, which shows how much they still honour his presence. The entirety of armour used by the chapter consists of the venerable Mark III iron pattern armour. Only the privileged get to use the newer Mark VI power armour. Most of their armour is even older than some of the Space Marines themselves, due to their stringent traditions, which is seen as somewhat ironic because they live on a forge world, capable of churning out new patterns of power armour. Instead, they maintain their armour religiously with help from the tech priests and the forges that are on the planet. The result is their armour being excellently maintained after centuries of use. The Terminators within the chapter are few, but they are armed with the Tartarus pattern plate. They have centuries of experience and their armour shows. Each armour is maintained pristinely from a mechanical standpoint. The scars of their past are proudly shown. Their armoury, known amongst the Marines as the Molten Forge, is even more curious as there are several variants of existing weapons. It's unknown whether or not the tech priests on Mars know about such variants, but the existence of these weapons suggests some acknowledgement. One such variant is a 4-barreled version of a plasma cannon. There are even rumours of a captured Tau railgun mixed with Imperial technology capable of delivering explosive ammunition at extremely high speed. Another unique piece of equipment is the highly controversial and untested Melter Mine. But otherwise, their armoury is relatively standard compared to the rest of the Adeptus Astartes chapters across the galaxy, with a slight emphasis on heavy weaponry. As for the Martyrs motor pool, they make use of the Baal Predator STC, Spartan assault tanks, and some Sikaran MBTs, and a few remaining Mastodons. Due to their current size, the Martyrs are placed into storage their Thunderhawks and mainly use Storm Ravens instead. Being descended from the Blood Angels, the Florus Sanguineus is also present within the chapter, but has manifested itself in a different way. The fury and bloodlust present in the chapter is replaced with an unyielding desire to sacrifice one's life for the Emperor. Rage and bloodlust do not consume those afflicted, but instead there is a singular desire to sacrifice one's life to be closer to Sanguinius, who also sacrificed his life for the Emperor. The logic is that if a brother undergoes this sacrifice, he is like Sanguinius in his last moments, and will be imbued with a euphoric holiness, known as the martyrdom amongst the chapter. The Marines who seek martyrdom are usually those who voluntarily lead suicide missions against insurmountable odds. The manifestation of martyrdom is ritualistic amongst the chapter. It's not unusual for a lone Space Marine to challenge a general or leader of an opposing army, or even to single out a powerful foe in combat. This can occur even in the middle of battle, as the lone Space Marine will cut through foes to reach the most powerful one and face them in combat. If the Space Marine wins the duel, he will seek out another more powerful opponent until martyrdom is achieved.